Okay, this is year 8, unit 5, and we're looking at parallel lines and angle rules. You should be able to recognize corresponding and alternate angles are equal and solve problems involving such. Don't worry about those big words, we'll explain in a wee second. Recognize an interior angle, know they are supplementary, and solve problems involving such. A straight line which crosses a pair of parallel lines is called transversal. So here's a transversal line here. When this happens, we can identify 3 sets of related angles as shown below. If it's a corresponding angle, these 2 angles here, and they are the same. I remember that as the F rule. If you do a capital F, that angle there and that angle there, those are corresponding and they're the same then as each other. Alternate angles are equal as well. I remember that as a Z rule or an N rule. If you do a capital Z, that angle there is the same as that angle there. If these are parallel, capital N is the other option, and those 2 angles there are the same. So those are the alternate ones. Okay, and then supplementary interior angles add up to 180 degrees. Listen to this. These ones are equal, these ones are equal, these ones are equal. These aren't equal. The rule is they add to 180 degrees. And because they're kind of inside there, supplementary interior add to 180 degrees. Alright, so corresponding are the F rule, alternate angles or the Z rule or the N rule, excuse me, and supplementary interior are the ones that add up to 180. Let's take a wee look at some questions. Find the missing angles and write down the reason why. Okay, so first of all, let's see, I'm going to hold this down. Can we see what's going on here? This was right at the very start of the chapter. X must be 67 degrees because it's vertically opposite. Angle Z, if you can see it, that's one of my F rules. It's like a wee kind of backwards F. Can you see that that must be the same then as X? I hope you can see that. So Z equals X equals 67 degrees, and those are corresponding. And then Z and Y must add together to give me 180. Again, do you see that? Because Z and Y are on a straight line. So Y equals 180 minus 67. And that's going to give me then, is it 113? Why is it 113? Yeah. 113 degrees, and the reason for that is angles on straight line equals 180 degrees. Alright, picture isn't great here, but hopefully you can see what's going on. Find the missing angle and write down the reason why. Parallel line, these are supplementary interior. So these 2 must add to give 180 degrees. So N is equal to 180, take away 58, and that's going to give me then 122 degrees. And the reason is, sorry, you can hardly read that, supplementary interior. I sometimes do a wee cheat for these because I never quite like the supplementary interior rule. See, if we extend this line on out here, you don't need to do it this way at all. This just makes more sense to me. All of a sudden we have a Z rule, do you see it? There's our Z, that's 58, and then that's on a straight line, which makes more sense to me, so I do that, take away 180 degrees. Obviously a wee bit more work, but it's just something that makes a little bit more sense to me when I'm sitting trying to work it out. Okay, example 3 says find the missing angles. Goodness, so let's see how we get on here. Right, first of all, let's take this triangle here. Okay, this is an isosceles triangle. How do I know? Because these 2 lengths are the same. So P, and then this must be P as well, because they have to be the same as each other because it's an isosceles triangle. So I'm going to do 180 degrees, take away 32 degrees, and that gives me 148 degrees. If I divide that in 2, then P equals 148 divided by 2, and that gives me then 74 degrees. So I know P is 74, and that's going to be there, and that's going to be there. Quite a tough one. Okay, P and R, can you see they're both in a straight line? Let's cover everything else up. That's 74, that's R, so we take that away from 180 degrees, so R equals 180, take away 74, and that gives me then 106 degrees. Here's a parallel line, here's a parallel line. I can see that P must equal T. That's really hard to see, but you need to kind of get rid of all the stuff around it. It's very hard to get rid of it. There's your parallel line, there's your parallel line, and there's a transversal line just going straight through it. You see? And that's P there, and that's T. So the angles are the same as each other. Okay, so T must equal P, and that must equal then 74 degrees. So my three angles are 106 degrees, 74 degrees, and 74 degrees. Okay, finally then this one, find the missing angle. Okay, so again, quite tough to try and work out, but we should be able to do it. 28 and 65, and this angle must add to 180 degrees because it is a triangle. So let's call this angle X. X equals 180, take away 65, take away 28. I can't work that out in my head, it's too hard, so I'm going to do 65 plus 28, that's going to be 13, and that's then going to be 93, and then 180 take away 93, I can now do that, so X then must be 87 degrees. So that's 87, we're up and running. Okay, if that's 87, that angle there must be 93 degrees because they add to 180. And then I don't know if you can see this, that's an upside down F. So those two angles then are corresponding. So U must equal 93 degrees. Two very tough ones there at the very end, example 3 and example 4. You just take your time and see if you can work out wee bits and pieces as you go. Some people won't get them all, but just try your best and see how many you can get.